You're listening to the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour. If you miss any of the program, you can find the podcast at the bottom of the page at sunnyradio.com.
Give yourself a little credit.
I've been telling you about BetterCreditCards.com for a few years now. I'd love for you to take a few minutes today to check out the website. Who knows? You might find a better credit card, one that offers a better rate, or a credit card that offers cash back, airline miles, or other points and perks that can help you. Check it out now.
Give yourself a little credit. Go ahead and switch to BetterCreditCards.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. Excited to visit with you today. We got Tuesday with Charlie coming up later this hour. In a moment, we're going to visit with Dr. Dan from Sioux Falls Hypnosis. You can find him online at SiouxFallsHypnosis.com. And we have another fun thing that we do each morning, this day in Sioux Falls history. And I would like to say thank you to our new sponsor, and that's our friends from Thomas James and Bechtold Jewelry, downtown Sioux Falls. Speaking of history, they've been around since 1902, the oldest jewelry store in the state of South Dakota. And again, we've got this day in Sioux Falls history coming your way, courtesy of that wonderful business downtown. And another wonderful business, 777 Casino. So we just talked about old, talk about new. The all-new 777 Casino is now open in the former VFW building. Open 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. 7 days a week, right on the corner of 49th and Minnesota Avenue. Stop in and try your luck today. The all-new 777 Casino at 3601 South Minnesota Avenue, just off 229 in the former Sioux Falls VFW building.
Insurance. It's important to have insurance, but it's more important to have the right insurance. After all, if you're not covered, it's like not even having insurance. Make sure you're covered for whatever claim might come your way with InsuranceChicken.com, helping you peck out great insurance deals in your area. You need insurance on your car anyway. Why not get great rates for great insurance from InsuranceChicken.com? That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited to visit right now with Dr. Dan from Sioux Falls Hypnosis. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello. How are you?
Very good. Always excited to chat with you. We learn a lot of fun stuff every time we talk. Now, we've talked quite a bit about hypnosis for weight loss as we were kind of getting to the beginning of the
most
year.
Popular, yes.
Yeah, beginning of the year, people making New Year's resolutions. And then we spent a couple weeks talking about people wanting to quit smoking.
Yep,
and
talked a little bit about that, yep.
And we've briefly touched on something else that's kind of a popular thing, but people who are utilizing hypnosis because of the stress in their life. And,
right.
And I suppose that stress can lead to a lot of other things, probably not good things. So it's a good idea to find a way to manage that. And hypnosis is a very good way to do that.
And stress is related to every unpleasant way that we get sick or die or those kind of things, from heart disease to vascular issues to every aspect of our lives. So, it's a generic thing to say, but, managing your stress is incredibly important for your health, for your physical well-being, for your mental well-being, and so on and so forth. But
and I know stress leads to, like, there are people with high blood pressure that part of that is, health-wise, but some of that is also stress-wise.
Absolutely. And so the idea, though, you got to reduce your stress, and that's generic.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is most people's stress can be summed up. Helping them cope with stress can be summed up in a single idea.
What is that?
You have to be okay, even when things go wrong.
Oh yeah.
And we experience stress, and people seem to want to see or understand stress as almost like it's a physical problem, like it's a disease, like it's an illness. I have stress, just like I have high blood pressure or I have migraines or whatever the case is. But in reality, the reason that we experience stress is because we believe we will not be okay, or we do not get to be okay if X, Y, and Z don't happen. Yeah. So in other words, I have to be good enough. I have to do this right. I have to do this well. I have to succeed. I have to be a certain way or a certain person. Otherwise, I don't get to be all right. Yeah. And the problem with that is when you've got one way to be okay, the world is never going to accommodate that. Oh, yeah. And so we end up moving out of the world and having these struggles and negative experiences that we generically call stress. Yeah. When at the bottom, underneath all of it, is you have to know that you're still a good person, even if you don't get it right. Yeah. Even if you fail, you're still a good person. You're still worth loving. Even if it doesn't go right for you or doesn't go the way you want, you still get to be okay. And that's really the learning that people need. And we're supposed to get that learning when we're young, but a lot of times we miss it. We get part of it, but not all of it. But that's what stress boils down to. And I think that is my work with people.
I think sometimes we make things more stressful than they really need to be. Mm-hmm. I was a wedding DJ for 20 plus years, and I remember there was a bride who was very analytical, and she handed me this page like on Wednesday before a wedding, and it said like 12:02 this, 12:14. I mean, she had it down to the minute.
Right.
And I said to her that Wednesday, I'm like, well, it might not be exactly there, but her job was like an administration, something. It was her job was to keep people on task, and she goes, no, it's got to be. We got to do this. And on her wedding day, when they showed up to the reception, they were an hour later than they were supposed to be. And she walked in. She was
frazzled.
She looked like she was going to vomit. And I went over, they were trying to take photos, and the whole time, she's just like, what time is it? What's good? And I went over and I said, hey, look around. Your friends are having so much fun. Everybody's having a blast. And I know that you're behind, but you know what? I'm going to get us caught up. Don't worry about it. Take a deep breath and just have fun today.
But does it make sense to you that inside her, is a learning, a thing she took in when she was young that became part of who she was. It says, I have to be competent. I have to make sure things work in a certain way, or I don't get to be okay.
Absolutely.
And that it's not the stress. You can't see in radio land, but I'm making air quotes here. It's not the stress. It's that belief.
Yeah.
That's what causes this, and that's what has to change. When that changes, you're able to see things in a different way and relax in a more useful way and handle things in a more productive way. And she can, if she can take that in that moment. And maybe she was able to take that in and have that evening be different. But wouldn't it have been wonderful if she could have changed the beliefs she held about herself at the bottom of that, so her whole life could be different?
Exactly. Well, and to me, I worked at a place where they used to say, control the things you can control. That was always, we can't make people say yes, we can't, but all we can do is get in front of enough people and talk to enough people. And so I found a picture of a sailboat that was one of those motivational posters.
Yes.
And I don't remember what it was. Something like, I cannot change the direction of the wind, I can only adjust my sails.
Right.
But I covered that up with control the things you can control, and I stuck that on there.
Right. And that is a wonderful way to look at that. But the struggle that some people have is that learning, if you took it in early in life, it's still in there. Yeah. Even when your mind says, I understand that that's a problem, and I understand I can only control the things that I can control, or whatever it is that you're taking in, that learning is still in there, and it's still driving the car.
Yeah.
And so what it'll do is it'll turn on you. It'll cause you, and that's, again, one of the things that we call stress. And so when we take people in at Sioux Falls Hypnosis, it's about learning, again. And it's about changing that. It's about learning a different way to see yourself, knowing you get to be okay, even when things. Now, I want people to do well and do right and succeed in all of that. But you got to be okay when it doesn't work out. Otherwise, you won't be okay. Not in this life.
If somebody listening would like to maybe learn a little more about how they could potentially fix their stress load by learning to deal with the things that they need to deal with, and a lot of time they're going to probably realize that it's me making it stressful.
You got it.
But if they would like your help to navigate that path and get to a place where they're okay with that and they can deal with that, what is the best way for them to reach out to you?
You can find us on the web at SiouxFallsHypnosis.com, and you can call us directly at 605-702-6691.
Very, very nice. Again, his website, super simple, super easy, and I recommend them. We've been working with Sioux Falls Hypnosis and love them. SiouxFallsHypnosis.com.
What could you do with an extra $129 a month? In this economy, every penny counts. So an extra $129 each month would absolutely help. Well, 97% of us have a cell phone, and the average person pays $144 a month. Mint Mobile can help you save a mint. At just $15 a month, that's an average savings of $129 each month. It's time for a Mintervention. Switch and save today. Get this special offer at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
It's time now for This Day in Sioux Falls History, brought to you by Thomas James and Bechtold Jewelry, the oldest jewelry store in South Dakota, using time-tested techniques to restore and repair jewelry, and using the latest technology to create custom pieces. Thomas James and Bechtold Jewelry, 325 South Phillips Avenue, downtown Sioux Falls. It was on this day, February 6, 1890, at the first official meeting of the Supreme Court of the brand new state of South Dakota. One of the first items on the agenda, official licensing of attorneys to practice in our state, as opposed to a territory. Whether by chance or of his own request, we don't know, but Sioux Falls lawyer Curtis H. Windsor received the distinction of being the very first officially licensed lawyer in the state of South Dakota, because he was the oldest attorney in the state. Windsor had indeed been practicing law for nearly 20 years by that time, so to say he was experienced would definitely be true, but it comes as a surprise to know that he was the oldest. At the time of his official licensing as a practicing attorney in South Dakota, and keep in mind he was the oldest attorney, Curtis H. Windsor reached the ripe old age of just 43. Such was the infancy of our great state. This day in Sioux Falls history has been brought to you by Thomas James and Bechtold Jewelry at 325 South Phillips Avenue in downtown Sioux Falls.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-310-5831. 800-310-5831. That's 800-310-5831.